Hello and welcome to another episode of Stripped Down Live. Tonight in the studio we have the Whiskey Saints. Another round of applause. Thank you. They've actually been described musically as kind of alt country, rock, Americana, without any description whatsoever, and that's just by the band themselves. So I discovered today. So please welcome to the studio the Whiskey Saints.
Dragging hours behind this morning, she's dealt a long delay. San Francisco is departing, but we're heading to LA. And she's the last person that I need to meet, but we're stuck here this way. It's possible she missed the cab, sleeping off 3 bottles of champagne. Still she's finding the nearest lounge to drink until she goes insane. No, McCarran is filled every day with people in pain. Spending money you just hope to forget, and now you're running late. Our chance will be happening soon, but girl, you've gotta wait for 1277. 1277. Unpredictable and never content, she's becoming a cliche. Looking for a new beginning for every runway. She says the spark goes out quickly, there's no reason to stay. Spending money you just hope to forget, and now you're running late. Our chance will be happening soon, but girl, you've gotta wait for 1277. 1277. 1277. Don't think we can ignore this. 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 Thank you. I need some babo and some luck. Hello out there in internet land. Nighttime's coming down, and now I'm lying here alone, darkness for the things that I don't know. I wish that I could understand the things that I can't see. Having trouble with the simple stuff, can't make sense of anything. Oh, I need some luck to hit me like a freight train or a truck. Make me realize that it's okay and I don't give a fuck. I want some time just to sit here, figure out where I've gone wrong. It may not be the remedy, but it feels good to sing along. Oh, to sing along. Well, the past keeps catching up with me, but I don't wanna die. I don't wanna live as long as some, but that might be a lie. I'm holding on to something that I know I won't let go. I'll never turn and walk away, 'cause then I'll never know. Oh, I need some luck to hit me like a freight train or a truck. Make me realize that it's okay and I don't give a fuck. I want some time just to sit here, figure out where I've gone wrong. It may not be the remedy, but it feels good to sing along. Oh, to sing along. Oh, to sing along. To sing along. Oh, to sing along. Oh, to sing along. Oh, I need some luck to hit me like a freight train or a truck. Make me realize that it's okay when I don't give a fuck. I want some time just to sit here, figure out where I've gone wrong. It may not be the remedy, but it feels good to sing along. Oh, to sing along. Oh, to sing along. To sing along. Oh, to sing along. Oh, to sing along.
Thank you. That was Bobo Burns on mandolin.
Bravo.
Hope you guys are sending in questions out there. I can't wait to hear them. This next tune's called Every Little Thing.
Here's the rest of why I've gotta say goodbye to you. Stop counting days and counting ways. I've told you that it's through. An echo that's come bouncing back in the empty city night. A half illuminated face that's waving, fading out of sight. And you've been every little thing that's true. Strangest fiction I couldn't picture now if it was them. I think I'd make the same decision, hard as it would be. back in town and just remember that you'll remember me. And you meant every little thing. That's true. You meant every little thing. It's getting in my way. It's fucking up my day to day. But I know that I won't stay. I'm letting go. You're still holding on. Whether right or wrong, ink is spilling out on paper like it was the blood of someone half alive or half forgotten from the flood. Drowning in the memories and searching for a way, clinging on to anything, waiting for a brighter day. And you meant every little thing. That's true. You meant every little thing. You meant every little thing. Oh, that's true. You meant every little thing. Every little thing. That's true.
Thank you.
I was kind of being like semi-facetious at the beginning, describing the different sort of the way different people have. It sounded like I was saying the way different people have described your band, but actually it was all different ways you'd describe the band. And I was wondering, you know, whether. I mean, it's not really a burden because when you're a musician, you know, if you're anything like me, it's you don't really want to describe what you do.
It's always a hard thing.
Yeah, but it was interesting to see, and I was watching the little 23-minute movie you made, Under Los Angeles, and it was sort of went from you were like country, you were rock, you were like. We're nothing. We're a different mix of different things. And so the fact that you can describe it yourself, and I find it interesting because listening to your music, it doesn't really fit into a genre, I don't think, which is what I found most interesting. Because if I listened to it, if I imagined it with sort of heavier guitars, I'd be listening to Green Day. I mean, melodically, I mean. And so, I mean, how do you decide, you know, exactly how, or is it just natural for you, how you actually, you know, play a song, or when you're writing and how you record it? Because I guess it's down to recording how you perform live, because you could perform these songs in so many different ways.
I think it's been our producer, the people that we've worked with, and just, I guess, all of our different ideas gel together into...
But your producer, Jim Deneen,
Jim
right?
Deneen, yeah.
Right, and... but he must have come to see you play live first, didn't it start live?
Yeah.
I think, you know, we bring a lot of songs to the band. Dave and Dave both write most of the songs, and we're open to playing anything if we think it sounds good, whether it, you know, sounds like a Whiskey Town song or whether it sounds like a, you know, a more rockin' tune. Like, you know, we're open to playing it as long as it's a good song, which luckily. These two write really good songs. No,
I mean, melodically, they're all great. I mean, if I go through the history, you met this Dave and that Dave, you met, which was an interesting start, if we go through that, through Craigslist, right? Yeah. So it was, who had the advert, or did both of you have the advert?
I think he'd been looking for people, but he found my ad. I'd been out in LA for 2 years from the East Coast, from Maryland. Right. And I was ready to hang it up, because I wasn't meeting anybody, and I was spinning my wheels, and he found my ad. It was pretty desperately worded, and he was the right guy at the right time. It was fortunate. Now,
going for the fact you're from Maryland, like this small town in Maryland, which the name I forgot.
Westminster.
Westminster.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have remembered Westminster. I don't think I actually said Westminster. That one I would have remembered.
Outside Baltimore is what I usually say.
And outside Philly was you, right? That was Wilmington.
Wilmington, Delaware, yes.
Yes, Delaware. Okay. See, I remember some things, but I didn't know. But none of you. You're Californian, right?
I'm a Californian.
Californian.
And I'm outside of Philly, but the other direction.
Right. So then you all come, which was we'll get to the first album in a bit, but let's go through how you met. So you met through the Craigslist ad. You went to Dave's house, and as soon as you said crack open a beer, you thought you'd found a partner.
we also found that we like drew on the same influences, like a lot of in indie rock. I don't even know how to like what that is anymore these days, but Built to Spill comes to mind, and Modest Mouse. And then like bigger bands, Wilco and Ryan Adams.
Right.
I think that sort of planted the seed for how we sounded.
The same album the same day, hadn't you, when you met? But that's such an interesting eclectic mix of people, if you think about it. And then, so going on, then you met Jeff after that from his Craigslist ad, because he was the most opinionated guy you'd ever. The most opinionated ad you could find at the time, it would appear. You know. So then you met Jeff. So how did Rob? You had a different bass player to start with. Who played with
also
you.
Courtesy of Craigslist, but
right.
he finished law school.
Right.
And we kind of just had to say, hey, you got to do your thing. You're not going to have time to practice if you're a lawyer. So we met Rob through a mutual friend that we'd played shows around LA with, and. He moved out here to be in a band called The Squares, and they decided they didn't need a bass player. So.
Yeah, my buddy who I went to high school with said, hey, you should come out and play bass in my band. And I was like, great. And I was living in Arizona at the time, and I moved out. I was ready to go. I learned all their songs, and he said, oh, you know what? I talked to the rest of the guys. They don't want a bass player. I was like, you bastards.
So, but he need a bass player.
Right. That's what I thought. But they hooked me up with him, and it worked out for the best, because they broke up a little while later, and 4 years later I'm still playing with these guys.
So now the first album was called West that you did, but that was like, I mean, it took you a few years before you even got to making that album. You've been playing live for quite a while.
At least 2 or 3 years, I think. So the stuff was well worn. I think that's why we finished that album more quickly than this.
Now, how did you meet Jim Deneen, who did the first album with you? I mean, I know obviously you've just recorded another album.
We had a friend. They met at a sports bar, and our friend Ryan, and he said to Jim, "Oh, you should come and see this band." And people say that to you all the time, and Jim, kind of thought, "Oh yeah, he's full of shit." But he ended up coming out. He saw us at Cantor's Kibitz Room in on Fairfax, which isn't the greatest sound, but I think he was immediately drawn to us and really like.
But you do,
got
and
the
it's
ball.
interesting some of the venues you play around Los Angeles, and looking into the different places you played, and the Kibitz Room was one. I think you and Dave, other Dave, played on your own there initially acoustically before you even formed the band. And actually, it's one of these things. It's a sort of a growing question, especially in LA, and actually, I'm guessing in most major cities, this whole pay-to-play thing, which you seem to refuse to play those gigs, which kudos to be honest.
We've avoided it like the plague.
And if no one understands what the pay-to-play thing is, it's bands expect you to sell, venues expect you to sell a certain amount of tickets. It's basically
typically like 300 tickets.
Yeah,
or something,
and basically you've got to pay them
outrageous,
to go play at these clubs. And in fact, I heard, and actually you did play at one, and I think it was the Whiskey, weirdly enough. And didn't you actually play a gig at the Whiskey where they made you queue outside before you actually did?
I think they were
show?
trying to like make it look like business was booming. Yeah, we had to sit outside for 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Just for that sort of sake of appearance.
Yeah, they had us come in and set up, and then they said, okay, everyone needs to get out. They're like, what?
And stand outside so it appears like people are queuing
stood
to come
outside
to the club.
for 15 minutes.
The bait and switch. It was a fun experience, though, playing those kind of rooms like the Viper and the Whiskey. They just have the history and that kind of thing.
But you get a better reaction from different places. The interesting thing for me, because I mean, I've been to a lot of different venues, and I mean, we're talking specifically LA here, obviously, but there are much smaller rooms that actually have a much better vibe than any of those places, even though they have a history, but that history doesn't exist anymore. It's not the same freedom that was with those venues when they first started, the fact that they're making bands effectively pay to play there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's going down that road, but new places pop up and new history is made, and
I mean, that's why I think
move
there
on
is
with it.
all these, like in Silver Lake and different places where there are the kind of cooler venues that actually people want to go to.
Right.
And the whole thing I think they don't understand is that even, you know, people who want to come see you play actually don't want to go to those places.
Yeah.
Because they know.
Yeah.
Because they're aware
It's
of
the
the
whole
fact they're
ordeal.
making you pay to go, you know, you're having to pay to get them in there. But the first album, West, and it was interesting purely, you know, the title of it, because this whole, like, kind of, to me, was like the gold rush thing coming out West, and the fact that all of you have kind of, well, bar you, who was already in the West, have come out West to kind of, you know, try and find something you maybe couldn't find at home. Was that the sort of premise behind it?
Yeah, I think that was kind of in the back of our minds, definitely. It was just like a new beginning, I guess.
Opportunity.
Yeah,
It's a big,
yeah.
big, opportunity, because we can't do the same things that we do back home
Right.
here. So
But is there that constant struggle? I mean, like even the track Under LA, which is the whole thing about there being such a huge gap between the rich and poor and the successful and not so successful. Or do you actually approach it with this is the biggest mountain we could possibly climb, and if we climb this one, we know we've actually got there, as opposed to making it in a sort of being a small fish, a big fish in a small pond to a small fish in a big pond?
That was my personal motivation for coming out here, was to be a small fish in a big pond and to see what I could do. So far, it's paying off. It's been good. Working with these guys has made it worthwhile.
No, I was also something I think you said actually, which was the interesting thing going through years, because it's a slow process, and the fact that you were saying it's interesting the transition when you started, when it was just your friends coming to see a show, and then actually going from that, so that there must have been a time there were suddenly fans, effectively, people you didn't know.
When you remember the face but don't remember the name.
Yeah, people you don't know that come to a show. And do you feel like, okay, step in the right direction?
Absolutely.
You suddenly feel like, okay, we're now going outside just our circle of friends.
Yeah, I mean, when you pull people in from the street, who come into a bar and stick around for, you know, more than one song, that's great. And they start mixing in with your friends, and you're making more friends, and those are all great steps. I think we're looking forward to doing that more.
Well, hopefully. I mean, and you've finished the new album, 24 Hours, or you're just in the process?
It's
of
really
finishing?
close.
It's so close.
We need to master it and hope to release it mid-February.
I mean, I've been privileged enough to hear a few tracks, so I think it's sounding great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're really excited about it. We have Joe McGrath, who worked on Ryan Adams' Love Is Hell, mixing it. And I mean, we were so lucky. He emailed us out of the blue and said, "Hey, I'd love to work with you guys. Are you guys doing anything?" And we said, "Shoot, we have all these tracks that we need mixed. So yeah, absolutely. Why don't you let's meet up and talk?" And he's been fantastic.
Great.
He's been absolutely fantastic.
So we're going to play another 3 songs before we come back. We're going to take questions from the chat room after the next set. So if you go to Strip Down Live, well, you're probably already on stripdownlive.com. It is my guess if you're in a chat room. But you can also send them in on Twitter. We're at Strip Live. You can do that also, and we'll take questions for the guys afterwards. So you're going to play more tracks. Some of these obviously are from West. Most of them are actually new tracks from the new album, 24 Hours. So we're going to hear 3 more songs. I'll come back in and we'll talk some more. Cool. So welcome back, the Whiskey Saints.
Cause I died before my time. took my life and my lovers too. My body's burning, my body's burning. You raised me up as high society, but now I'm falling so low, God can't even help me. My blood is burning, my body's burning. You should cry and cry and cry for all your crimes. 'Cause I died before my time. You should cry and cry and cry for all your crimes. 'Cause I died before my time. I mark the walls for every day I've missed. Now that I accept there's no cure for this, my heart is yearning, my heart is yearning, my heart is yearning, my heart is yearning. Thank you. I think we need Bobo Burns again. Trying to take you on a roller coaster ride, upbeat song, slow song. Turn up your computer speakers and dance along. It's Under LA. 1, 2. I still think I'm due for my dark-haired girl of the avenues. Do they still think of me stranded on their 12th floor balconies? And it's news when these old fears arise in my blues. They turn to look away. Now walls are collapsing and time is elapsing. I'm stuck in the same strange place under LA, under LA, under LA. When money is spent, why try to live like you mean it? 'Cause I wanted to quit, but it becomes easier the more you forget about the news. When these old fears arise in my blues, they turn to look away. Now walls are collapsing and time is elapsing. I'm stuck in the same damn place under LA, under LA, under LA. I see
Thank you.
If I was going to stick around for one more, don't even sit down, man.
Your work is not finished.
Thought it'd be more than a train wreck fantasy, strung back out of my life that she consumed. And I hate this scene. I stare at the walls and TV screens, and the only lonely girl in this room. I'll make time, 'cause we both know without this we don't stand a chance. And even though I'll break her heart, there's something sweet in sad romance. It's a sin. She spent all my money, now I'm broke again. Messed up, ready to come back, waging war. She's just scared. She's been around, but for years I've dared. Faced out, throw her out, and lock the door. I'll make time, 'cause we both know without this we don't stand a chance. And even though I'll break her heart, there's something sweet in sad romance. Won't be alone until she finds out that I'm really gone. What she was waiting for, she had with me.
Thank you.
What I was weirdly thinking of during that set and listening to sort of like lyrical content of all your songs, which tend to be about some form of struggle, be it in relationships or, you know, you need some luck or trying to find your way, like the under LA kind of stuff, is what happens if and when you make it.
We lose all the sadness.
You lose all, I mean, you know, where's my content coming from now?
We'll just bring everyone up instead of down, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think it's down. Although there's a certain tradition to sort of, I mean, you mentioned sort of, you know, people you were fans of, but it seems to be that kind of, a lot of influence from sort of when country first sort of came out west in a weird way with kind of Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and people that actually made it popular and sort of made it a bit more mainstream, where those songs became part of the mainstream. Those songs about struggle and everything else. Do you find that to be I mean, like when you're writing songs, do you prefer to write about struggle, or just that's what you're going through right now?
Yeah, that's what comes out, I think. I've tried to.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're trying to make it, and you have crappy relationship.
Yeah, any good story or song, you know, it's about their struggle. There's some sort of conflict in it, and no exception with our music either, I guess. I mean,
is it? I mean, there's a lot of artists, which is, you know, I mean, it doesn't mean that's your entire persona. Just that's how you use songwriting. I mean, is it normally about, like, if you're going through a relationship problems, or God, shit, I wish we had more money right now and could do this, then you want to write a song about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's usually what fuels it.
Right.
So it's just kind of that's what bubbles it up, and it pops out as a song.
Because I mean, it's interesting because you know, obviously, and it'd be interesting to hear how you think like the music industry is going, and the way things are in the, you know, sort of industry as such. Not that there really is one, but I am sort of listening to, you know, music on one hand now, but now I'm interested in the personalities, and I think it's actually a wonderful thing because you get to know the personalities more, and it gives you a bigger picture as far as, you know, when you listen to the songs. And I'm watching your YouTube channel. And seeing all the different videos, and some of it's pretty damn amusing, I've got to say. You know, the NoHo All-Star Cafe, which of course you did the guided tour to.
I know. I hope you're not offended by my accent. It's a
the
terrible
English accent with the pipe is
terrible. It's awful.
I mean, if you get a chance, really, if wherever the camera is, you should go. I mean, also the whiskeysaints.com is where you can actually see a bunch of these things, but the full movie, and it will link you to the YouTube page with all the sort of little movies. You did the All-Star, NoHo All-Star Cafe, which is your rehearsal space.
It used to be.
Oh, used to be.
We were happy to leave that place.
My favorite was actually we had this toilet that's specially painted. Or was it the Toliet?
Great artist.
The Toliet.
Yes, the Toliet. It's very impressive. Very impressive commode.
And then getting lost on the way to Santa Ynez was another one, I feel. That was a long-ass journey. Don't ask some strange biker directions. You want to? I'm telling these stories. You're not explaining them. But, you know. Who was in the car? Was it?
That was me and.
That was you and Dave.
That was totally his fault. It was my fault. I'm horrible with directions. It was completely my fault.
This is actually a movie where they took a 20-mile detour through the mountains to find a dead end and
There's literally
come
a dead
back
end in the mountain, and we were completely. These guys made it to the gig like 45 minutes before we did. I think.
We know how to follow directions.
Well, you know, like GPS is great. You know, it's a great invention, and
maybe more people should use it.
However, well, he did have it, but he just put in a zip code and not an address. So it was like, okay, yeah, let's take you to the middle of this zip code, which is at a dead-end mountain. Sweet.
And then there's, what are the other YouTube, the Super Bowl one was pretty funny as well. Super Bowl predictions from who's going to win the coin toss to Eli Manning is going to score the first points. It's like, oops, I know nothing about football over here. And I'm English, I know more than that. Yeah. And was Eli Manning even in it? Wasn't it Peyton Manning? Or okay.
I knew it was like
it was one of the Mannings. It was one of those brothers. But I mean, to be honest, I mean, and also something are you thinking about as you go ahead, because you're finishing this album. And for me, I think it's sort of kind of important that people get to know the personalities behind them, because the music, you understand the sort of depth of music and the emotion behind music once you understand the personalities more. And so do you have plans to do more of that when you're doing, I mean, I know this album is just about to be finished. I'm guessing it's going to be, probably not released till, what, beginning of next year now, I would think?
Yeah, we're looking at probably February, but are there plans to do more videos?
Well, just more
Kurt, you know it, buddy. We got videos. Jeff is kind of a video mastermind. We talked about doing a David Lynch style video for a little while. That's going to be...
It's all in good fun. I mean, and we have fun doing it. It's just, and I guess people seem to enjoy it. So
it's a way to keep in touch with our friends.
Well, no, but again, it gives people a different layer than just listening to a song. That, you know, these are the people behind the song, and I find that a lot of the time the most interesting thing about the way the industry is changing is that you actually are going to get to know people as people, as opposed to just a facade, which is the way a record company would deal with it. Is this is how we need to position you and how you should appear to the public, whereas now you can just be yourselves. I mean, do you embrace that? I mean, I know that it's confusing. I mean, you know, difficult because there are no rules anymore.
Right.
I think it's a double-edged sword because anybody can find you, but they may not find you because there's so much out there.
Yeah. Well, you just got to make the most interesting movies.
True,
That's the whole
true,
point.
true.
You know. But if some kid can get on there and mime to songs without even knowing the words and get 15 million hits, they just got to be, you know, more. I mean, it actually tests your creativity.
Yeah.
As to doing something that people will actually want to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to kind of give us a different outlet to use that creativity. And going back to, you know, being kind of, you know, what a record label would see us as, and how that differs between what we are now. I think we've always kind of prided ourselves in being just kind of regular guys who go through, you know, the same thing that everyone else goes through. You know, we've just been blessed to be able to play music and talk to people and reach people in that fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I found, you know, to be honest, Under LA, the 23-minute movie was actually one of the more interesting ones I've seen as far as explaining trying to make it and the difficulties. And it had no answer at the end, which actually I thought was a good thing. And hopefully you'll get to do the sequel to that at some point.
Hopefully. We'll see. Our friend who directed that, Dan Mercaldi, did just a great job of sorting through hours.
Because it was from like fan movies and different things, different people had taken, and
just hours of nonsense.
Yeah.
And he trimmed down to 23 minutes. Unbelievable.
What was the other short movie I liked? The one, whatever the best friend, or just someone coming out and blowing someone's nose. What was that? Explain that.
That was outside of
what was it called? It had a good title.
Man. Yeah. Mostly those videos revolve around me, just because I'm always the sucker who doesn't mind being made fun of. So, yeah, that was our buddy Omar, who directed our With the Lights On video, which you can also see on our YouTube channel and on our website.
And what's with all the cuts on the face in the With the Lights On video? I mean, I know there was a vampire in the last shot, but...
Didn't you see those broads, Terrence?
I saw the broads, yeah, but I didn't see them destroying you or slicing your face, particularly.
That was from previous incidents.
Right. I mean, that was actually another great, I mean, a really good video, an interesting video made probably on a shoestring, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, we called it a lot of favors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of favors.
Yeah. So I think people should go look at the YouTube channel and you'll discover more. So let's take some questions, but someone would have to move that microphone out of the way. Lisa Elliott on Facebook asks, as David Sparrow and I are from the same area, I really wanted to ask him a question. Coming from a relatively small town, what was it like moving to a city like LA to pursue your music career?
Well, like I said earlier, it was discouraging at first because I mean I came out here with my guitar player. I was in a band back in Maryland, and our drummer and bass player became school teachers, so they didn't have time to make music. So I mean another great thing about these guys is we're all on the same page. But it was daunting. I mean I remember the first couple months I was out here, I went to see a show in Anaheim and was expecting some open space in between, but it was all freeway, all strip malls. That was kind of crazy.
Welcome to LA.
Yeah. I really didn't grasp like how large and how sprawling Los Angeles is.
It is. I mean, it is daunting. And weirdly enough, I mean, I moved here from New York and England before that, but after New York even, it's kind of, because New York is a huge city, but it's very compact. And here, everything is just takes you forever to get
pockets of
anywhere.
neighborhoods.
Yeah. And you don't really get outside of them. Dr. Evil. Well, good name. Dr. Evil. He's like this big and bald and has a little friend. In the chat room asks, was there a specific inspiration for I Need Some Luck? Apart from the fact that luck rhymed with fuck.
A specific inspiration? I would say no. I mean, literally, I had the chords, and I was sitting there one night, like literally, like lying there in the dark, and that was just what popped out on the page. It's like, it's so pitiful. That's how it started out, but then, I mean, it went from there. I need some luck.
Did you get to the bit going, can I really say, you know? And actually on the recording you don't, I don't think.
Oh, no, yeah.
On the one I have,
we kept it clean.
I listened, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that was up on the it wasn't one you sent me, it was from the other. Anyway, Lucy99 in the chat room asks, what's your view on people trying to fit you into a genre style? Any of the genre's styles close to what you consider yourselves?
That's a tough one. I mean, as you said in the first interview, you know, we had a hard time kind of describing ourselves, and I think right now we're going with rock and roll. Just pretty much straightforward rock and roll, especially Jeff wins.
won the
He's
descriptive contest.
As far as other people trying to fit us into genres, I mean, I can think of one particular review that just really slammed us for calling ourselves alt country, but I mean, I don't know, we grew up with an alt country kind of.
But isn't that like other people's jobs? I mean, it's
Sure,
weirdly enough, it's, you know, when you're making music, don't you just don't think about it, surely.
Yeah, no, we don't. I mean, we don't sit down and say, "All right, we're going to write us an alt country song today."
Yeah, I think we started calling ourselves alt country because that's what we were being informed by.
Right, other people were telling you that you were alt country.
Yeah.
And like I say, I mean, I think, you know, a lot of that is just even in the fact that you're playing it live in the certain instrumentation, and it put different instrumentation to it, something else completely.
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's just melodic songwriting. You know, unfortunately, there's not a genre called melodic songwriting.
Let's start with
just
that.
call it
Yeah.
from now on.
Okay. Bitty Bite, yes, hello. In the chat room asks, how much collaboration goes into putting a song together, and where is your favorite place to write?
Should we each answer this one? The collaboration, I think Dave and I write the majority of the songs, but the fleshing out of the song happens with the band, which is cool. It's democratic, and it shapes a song. I just write a song and I hear myself playing it on an acoustic guitar, and I don't. He's great about instrumentation and arrangement and stuff like that.
So I mean, do you actually do you have another rehearsal space apart from the NoHo All Star Cafe, or you write it like your apartments and then go rehearse?
Typically, yeah.
Yeah, typically written at an apartment. And then we have a new practice space downtown,
right?
And we do all the fleshing out there, like you said, and it's kind of nice because, you know, someone will bring a new song, and you know, Jeff and I don't write as much, but we still have a lot of creative input into, you know, how the song is going to sound.
I mean, also as a sort of a working live band, does some of it come when you get a reaction from the audience? I mean, when you actually go play it live, does it change from then on? I mean, if you I'm presuming these songs you play live before you even record them.
Oh
yeah, these are well tested.
So do you gauge what's coming back, and you feel pieces are missing? I mean, does that shape in any way the way you play it, or is it pretty much formed in your head before you get there?
I don't think it affects how we arrange the songs, but it affects what songs we play. There's stuff in the catalog that's just been scrapped and flushed.
Yeah,
much to my dismay.
Yeah, sometimes there's a little heat about that, about people not wanting to play that song. But
if I knew how to pronounce muskies or mushies, whatever, muskies,
Mushies.
79 in the chat room asks, ideally, what does the future hold for the Whiskey Saints?
My personal goal is to tour. I'd love to just do a U.S. tour. Or even branch out to Phoenix and San Francisco more immediately.
You need to take Patty Primetime on the road.
Yeah, Patty Primetime.
Do you still have Patty Primetime, or did she die?
I was a loner.
By the way, that was their touring band at some point. That died on them.
3 days.
We went on
3 days.
We
You
went
had
on
that
one
for 3 days.
3-day tour and had Patty Primetime just break our hearts left and right.
Before the first show.
Just left and right.
About 8 hours into it.
That was it, gone. So you hope to tour with some functioning piece of machinery that would actually last you through the whole thing. Okay, we should get on to the last couple of songs, and actually I'll say my goodbyes. I'm going to come back at the end. So thanks to the Whiskey Saints, to Dave, Jeff, Rob, for being here. We're actually gone for a couple of weeks, by the way. We're not here next week or the week after. We're back December the 1st, correct? December the 1st with Fits and the Tantrums, which should be a good show also. So a special thanks, of course, to the crew who are here. As I mentioned last week, if they got paid less, they'd be paying me. A very happy birthday to Rune, whose 30th it is today.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Whiskey Saints would like to thank Bobo for sitting in with them.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bobo.
On that little, like, smaller guitar-y thing with, like, multi-strings. Mandolin, I believe it's called. So thanks to the Whiskey Saints. They're going to play us out with a couple more songs. We'll see you in 1, 2, 3 weeks. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to see any other episodes, stripdownlive.com. You can see us on YouTube at YouTube/, isn't it Streaming Garage, right?
Yep.
It's, it's right there, youtube.com/Streamin Garage, and leave off the G or include the G, depending on which way you're looking at it. Like, include the G on streaming and leave it off Arage. Or leave it off streaming and put it on Garage, if you see what I'm saying. So thanks again to the Whiskey Saints, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Before we get back, I just want to let you guys know about Tuesday, November 30th. We're doing a benefit for MS at Hotel Cafe in Hollywood, so hope you can make it. It's a good cause. Oh, yeah, the most important thing I'm forgetting. We started the Kickstarter.com program today. We're really trying to raise funds for, we're the charity in this case, and every little bit counts. Just for a starter, $10 gets you the album, $12 gets it shipped it anywhere. Check it out, Kickstarter.com, the Whiskey Saints. Thanks.
Trying it, but things happen too fast. Well, I'm taking it and breaking it, 'cause good things don't last. Well, I'm groping for a chance to know how. Well, I'm missing it, I'm kissing it all goodbye now. Forever isn't long enough. I can't fix what's broken. Time again, you wouldn't let go. You only wanted me to be exactly what you wanted me to be. You're always in my heart. No more yesterdays. That's how it has to stay. You're always in my heart. Even if you're gone, I have to carry on. Forever taunting me, it kept pawning me, but you should know that we broke apart, accusing me of tearing out your heart. Forever isn't long enough. What's broken? You never believed in love. You can't when it's unspoken. You're always in my heart. No more yesterdays. There's nothing left to say.
Thank you. So we got one last tune for you. This is The Gift. It's going to be on 24 Hours, coming soon to your home, I hope.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Give me a roof to shout your name, the streets of building walls, so the world can hear my claim. Give me years of city nights, and we'll walk from bay to sea, around the half moon line. I could have told you long ago. I could have told you long ago. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that love is uncertain. Give me a rule to follow by, a path that I can choose, a second chance to try. Give me the words you want to hear when the shadows pass outside, to calm your fears. I could have told you long ago. I could have told you long ago. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that love is uncertain. There's one thing I've learned, it's that love is uncertain. There's one thing I've learned, it's that love is uncertain.
Thanks for tuning in.